Right now, as you are reading this, something is happening inside your body that nobody ever warned you about. It has no sound. It has no color. You cannot feel it happening. But it is the single most powerful force quietly deciding how fast you age, how deeply you think, how alive you actually feel, and 99% of people will go to their graves never knowing it existed. What I am about to tell you is not philosophy. It is not religion. It is the most dangerous and most liberating secret that ancient masters spent entire lifetimes trying to understand, and most of them barely survived the attempt. Your body is not just a machine running on food and oxygen. Ancient yogis discovered something that modern neuroscience is only now beginning to catch up to. Inside you right now, there is a cosmic current of life energy, and it is flowing in the wrong direction. Imagine a magnificent lamp that is always burning, always consuming its own oil, never being refilled. That is you. Every single day, every single hour, your most precious inner fuel is silently draining out through the bottom. And the terrifying part, the more unconsciously you live, the faster it drains. This downward energy has a name. In the deepest science of yoga and tantra, it is called Apana. And understanding what Apana actually is will permanently change how you see your own body. Apana is gravity, but not the gravity that pulls apples from trees. This is the gravitational force inside your own nervous system toward decay, toward death. Nature designed Apana only to carry waste out of the physical body, but your consciousness, your awareness, your creative intelligence, your raw life force is also being pulled along for the ride. Every moment of uncontrolled desire, every explosion of anger, every spiral into negativity sends this energy crashing downward like a dam breaking. You feel a moment of release, and then immediately after, you feel hollow, depleted, older. That emptiness you feel after certain experiences is not just psychological. Something real just left your body, something irreplaceable. The ancient Tantra masters said something that will disturb you deeply if you let it land. You do not age because of time. You age because you are leaking. The calendar is just a witness. The real cause of your biological deterioration is this constant, relentless downward hemorrhage of your inner energy. Every unguarded moment, every unconscious reaction, you are not just tired, you are becoming less. Scientists call it oxidative stress, cellular decay, entropy. The Siddhas called it something far simpler and far more frightening, slow suicide by unconsciousness. Now here is where history becomes more than a story. Here is where history becomes a warning. Matsyendranath, one of the most powerful yogic masters who ever lived, even he fell. He lost everything he had spent decades building inside himself. It took his own devoted student, Gorakshanath, to reach him, not with words, but with a specific rhythmic percussion that struck his root center like a spiritual thunderbolt, reversing the fall. If a master of that magnitude could be swallowed by this force, what chance does an ordinary human have? The answer that yogis discovered is the science of Bandha, energetic locks. But here is where most people make a catastrophic mistake. They hear the word lock, and they think it means clenching a muscle. A bandha is not a muscular contraction. It is a conscious act of will. Mula bandha, the root lock, is the most critical. It sends an immediate electrochemical signal through the nerves directly connected to your brain. Your parasympathetic nervous system activates. The perpetual emergency your body thinks it is in suddenly ends. The drain stops. When the drain stops, something extraordinary begins. Slowly, Apana, which was always flowing downward, begins to reverse. It begins rising. And here is where the real alchemy begins. When the downward current of Apana meets the downward descending prana in the region of the navel, they create something, a friction, a heat, an inner fire so intense it has its own name. The fire of the navel center, Manipura. This is not a metaphor. Something physiological is actually happening here that neuroscience is beginning to document without yet understanding. That inner fire strikes downward at the base of the spine, at Muladhara, where something has been sleeping since the day you were born, coiled, waiting, compressed like a spring under tremendous tension. The yogis called this sleeping force Kundalini, the serpent of consciousness. When the navel fire touches it, this energy does not gently awaken, it explodes upward, and because you have sealed the downward gate with Mula Bandha, it has only one direction to travel, up through the central channel of your spine, the Sushumna. What happens is your own nature operating at full capacity for the first time. When this risen force reaches your brain, something happens to your mind that cannot be adequately described in language. This is the pure science of conserved energy rising to the brain and becoming oshas, the divine fuel of genius. The lights in your mind that were always dim suddenly blaze. The parts of your brain that make extraordinary creativity ignite. But this is precisely the moment where the warning becomes most urgent. Energy is blind. It has no morality. It is simply amplification. Whatever already exists inside you, it will make more of it. If you force this energy upward through ego, you will not be illuminated. You will be burned. The nervous system cannot handle the voltage if the wiring is corrupted. Entire case studies exist of people who pushed too hard, too fast, and shattered psychologically, neurologically, completely. The Gita does not celebrate extremism. It celebrates the middle path, balance, the gradual purification of the vessel before the power is increased. The purification that must come first is not dramatic. You do not need to abandon your life, your family, your responsibilities. The proof of this is Lahiri Mahasaya. Sitting among office files and ordinary conversations, the collision of prana and apana was continuously happening within him. His face carried a luminosity that people could not explain and could not look away from. He proved something crucial. You do not need to escape the world. You need to stop letting the world escape with your energy. Begin here, not with advanced techniques. Begin with awareness. The next time anger rises in you, notice the exact moment your energy starts to fall. Every moment you choose not to react, not to leak, not to spill yourself into the world's chaos, you are redirecting, you are reversing the river. The goal is to stand in the absolute center of your life, surrounded by everything, shaken by nothing, with your energy circling inside you like a flame in a windless room. The day you achieve that, you will understand why the ancient masters said that the one who masters Apana masters time itself. If this reached something inside you, then this video did exactly what it was meant to do. Share this with one person who deserves to know that the power they are looking for is not outside them. It is leaking out of them. Subscribe and hit the bell. What we are building here is a community. You stayed till the very end of this video. That already tells me something extraordinary about you. Most people cannot sit still with truth this deep. You did, and that means you are ready. Thank you, genuinely, from the inside, for being here. Now go. Be still and let the energy rise.